Let the truth talk to 'em. Let the truth talk to 'em. Let the truth talk to 'em. Talk. Let the truth talk to 'em. Let the truth talk to 'em. Let the truth talk to 'em. Talk. Let the truth talk to 'em. Let the truth talk to 'em. Let the truth talk to 'em. Talk. We're gonna talk about Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Now, in our day and time, you know, when we think of Thanksgiving, we think of family, friends, and feasting.
Yeah.
Feasting. You know what I'm saying? You got that big golden...
And football, and college football.
Yeah, y'all about to say you got that big golden brown turkey. Hope nobody died while it was being fried.
Roast.
You got... rump roast. you got the mac and cheese. Oh. You know what I'm saying? You got the candy yam.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, your friends and family come over, you know, to watch the football games, and of course you got to have the liquor.
Oh yeah.
Party ain't no party without the liquor.
Somebody gonna bring something through.
So basically, these are the things that we associate the celebration of Thanksgiving with. It sounds like a bunch of harmless, good family fun, correct?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, to us today, it's just, you know, it's just a time for people to get together with their family and have a good time with their family. However, this American holiday does not come without controversy.
Man, like all of them do.
I think everything in this world, everything that comes from this world comes with controversy. So
yeah.
Now, in school we was taught that Thanksgiving marked the day that the Pilgrims helped the Indians. You know, they gave them food, they gave them farming tips, and they helped them survive the winter, and blah blah blah, and this and that, and there and then, and But the fact of the matter is, hold on. What we gonna do is I want to read what they and a lot of y'all probably already know this, because when I did this research, you know, the participants in this tradition is slowly dropping. Once people start to do their research and they look at, you know, what it came from and what it represents and all this stuff.
Yeah, the origins.
Because when you're looking it up, you can really get confused, because it's like several different things. They had several different Thanksgiving celebrations, and they were for different things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but what they done, they put them all together in one, and it's just one big holiday. But it says, the legend of the first Thanksgiving. In 1620, the legend goes, a boat filled with more than 100 people sailed across the Atlantic Ocean to settle in the New World. This religious group had begun to question the beliefs of the Church of England, and they wanted to separate from it. The Pilgrims settled in what is now the state of Massachusetts. Their first winter in the New World was difficult. They had arrived too late to grow many crops. But it sounds like what they told me, like this was in the textbooks.
Yeah. And
without fresh food, half the colony died from disease. The following spring, the Wampanoag Iroquois Indians taught them how to grow corn. You know what I'm saying? They showed them other crops to grow, because all this was unfamiliar to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't know how to hunt.
Fish, nothing.
Yeah, fish and none of that. You know what I'm saying? So the Indians basically taught them that, and I thought they were supposed to be the civilized ones.
That's what, not even to even stop right there, but that's the part, you know what I'm saying, in every book from elementary to whatever it was, that's what I have been taught, you know. It was the total opposite. That throughout that holiday, it was like, you know, the Pilgrims landed and showed somebody who was already dwelling that land how to, you know, survive for themselves, or how to fend for themselves, you know what I'm saying. That's what I got.
So, like I said, it starts to get a little sketchy, because it's like certain accounts say certain things. So I just basically went back to the encyclopedia and dug up stuff I said. But then it says a harsher reality. The harsher reality is, it says, however, in fact, the Pilgrims weren't the first immigrants to celebrate their Thanksgiving. They probably belonged to the Puffin colony of Maine, who celebrated the day of their arrival in 1607. And the Pilgrims didn't celebrate every year afterwards. They did celebrate the arrival of supplies and friends from the from Europe in 1630. And in 1637 and 1676, the Pilgrims celebrated the defeat of the Wampanoag. Hold on, I just said it. Wampanoag, yeah.
There you go.
Wampanoag neighbors. They celebrated in 1676 was a memorable. It was memorable because at the end of the feast, the Rangers sent to defeat the Indians brought back the head of their leader, who was known by his adopted English name, King Philip, on a pike where they kept his head on display for 20 years or whatnot. So, you have one story of, they sat down together peacefully and everything was cool and they shared a meal together and this and that, and you know what I'm saying? That's how the day began. But it was, y'all could look that up. Look up the King Philip War. It talks about, that war that went on and how, basically, this is my whole take from the thing. We know how America was built.
Oh, yeah, on the backs of slavery.
Oh, yeah, we know the dirt and the darkness in the history of America. So it's just, I see it like, they did it like they did everything else. They came in, they sat with these people, they sucked up the game of the land. I probably even doubt that they didn't know how to fish and hunt. Because, bro, come on.
It do sound like,
yeah.
I
mean, them certain kind of people, but if you're going on an expedition like that, ain't you going to take those people with you? If you're going somewhere to look to you know what I'm saying?
In fact, that they did, it's good that you even brought that up, because in 1616 is where they first settled, like they were actually called the European settlers. They came across different lands and stuff like that. And what they did was they came to some of the Native American Indian tribes. They weren't called American at that time, but the native tribes. And what they did to them was they induced a disease on them, which wiped out 90% of their population. You know what I'm saying? Like in 3 years.
Yeah.
So in 3 years, they wiped out 90% of their population because when they looked at the land that was over there, they said, it's cool and it's fertile, but it's too many people here. So they came with a plan, just like how we're going to be talking about soon in the depopulation, which is going to come up in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk about on this show too. Continue with Agenda 21. It's almost like the same recipe was induced to these people, a long time ago. Because there was a lot of trading going on before. But what they did was they took some of the captive of the Native Americans back, and they took them to be slaves and stuff like that.
So here we have everybody indulging and celebrating in this holiday, having a good old time. But what a lot of people don't know and still don't know is that there's a group of people called the United American Indians of New England. And in 1970, they established Thanksgiving as a day of mourning.
Okay.
As we read earlier, we know why. And that day of mourning actually came about unintentionally. You know what I'm saying? I researched this as well. It says that year 1970, a banquet was held by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to celebrate the 350th anniversary of the Pilgrims' arrival. The organizer invited Frank James. He was part of the tribe, and they invited him to speak at the banquet. But when they heard his speech, which mentioned European settlers looting the graves of their people, taking the wheat and the bean supplies and selling them as slaves, the organizers gave him a whole nother speech and tried to leave out the gritty details like they always do.
Always.
But rather than being sellouts and was like, okay, we're going to do that, you know what I'm saying? Dude and his supporters, they gathered at Plymouth where they observed this National Day of Mourning since then. So they've been doing this. So I'm just saying, these people chose this day for mourning the massacre of their people. And what Americans just see as a fun day, other people don't see it as such a happy day.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So Now I did read some Indians actually said they celebrate Thanksgiving because they say the fact that natives managed to survive mass murder, forced relocation, theft of land, and all kind of other injustices we know about. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That gave them like to know that they could still be humble and love people after that. That gave them a sense of like, okay, this is healing us.
Yeah.
Knowing that we endured this much, but we can still be wanting to give to the same people that did this to us.
And still show love.
You know what I'm saying? So they use it as a word, healing. But no, go ahead.
No, it's a way to show love, just like what you're saying. Kind of like the African Americans' plight or whatever it is, because you would see so many years of over 400 years of oppression and slavery. You would think that the average African American or black man got the right to just punch a European in his nose, but throughout the times of that's not God-like. Different things transpire. And you have to have room to be able to forgive, and you would kind of think to be able to rebuild and understand that everything is just not going to go in an evil way for a long time. So
Yeah.
I commend the Indians for even doing that kind of thing too, because they have been this land. No joke about it. This land was already theirs. It wasn't lost. It wasn't discovered. These people had been here already. The Native Americans had been here. They've been trading with people for hundreds of years. They've been civilized. In fact, they had a guy named Squanto who was an interpreter. He was captured actually in the early 1700s, and he was taken to America. But the whatever guy that he was sold into slavery to, he realized how smart he was, so he kind of educated him a little bit and brought him back. He wanted to bring him back to his land, but when he got back, he realized that 90% of his people was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he stayed on as an interpreter and still had to have beef with some dude named Chief Maso or something like that. Forgive me a butchering the name too. You know what I'm saying? But Chief Masio or something like that.
Let the truth talk to him, let the truth talk to him, let the truth talk to him, talk. Let the truth talk to him, let the truth talk to him, let the truth talk to him, talk. Let the truth talk to him, let the truth talk to him, let the truth talk to him, talk.